Show is testosterone-fuelled. So watch out.
Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Lee Mack. In the news, after a turbulent week, Gordon Brown arrives at a dinner he's organised to thank his loyal supporters. In Leicestershire, after a serious malfunction at the hula hoops factory, the quality controller admits he's baffled. And in Downing Street, a junior minister is the first to get a taste of Gordon Brown's brand new sensitive management style. With Ian tonight, a comedian who, when asked what it took to be a stand-up, said you need to have a very thick skin and to take rejection well. Even when people boo you, you must have a need to carry on regardless. So if the stand-up doesn't work out, she could always be Prime Minister. Please welcome Shappi Khorsandi. With Paul tonight, a chef and real food campaigner, best known for his numerous television series set in Dorset. Escape to River Cottage, Return to River Cottage, Beyond River Cottage, and River Cottage Forever. These have led to his most recent programmes, I'm Sick to Death of River Cottage, and I'm Moving to Devon. Please welcome Hugh, Fearnly, Whittingstall. And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Shappi, have a look at this.
Caroline Flint.
Flint.
Boo. No, she wasn't booed. She's flicking her hair. Oh, he's back. Zombie time. Oh, there's Rasputin. Just over here, sir. Oh, is that Sir Alan?
That's The Apprentice. They don't know who's got what job.
And he doesn't care.
I'm off down the pub.
That's his press conference. It's goodbye. No, it wasn't. He's still here, sadly. We got very excited last week. We thought it was all over for him. But we'd forgotten that we don't have a vote. But it's true. We have a system in this country, one man, one vote. Gordon, he votes himself in, he's back. It's quite a low point when the Second World War veterans boo you when you arrive in Normandy and you're the British Prime Minister.
Yes, I didn't really realise that was Normandy.
You know, you went there for the D-Day celebrations and the Germans turned up and were met with silence and reverence. Our Prime Minister turns up, boo!
Less popular than the Germans at Normandy.
He didn't actually help himself that much, did he? Because this is Gordon Brown making a speech in front of the President of the United States, paying tribute to the soldiers who landed on Omaha Beach.
When Winston Churchill regularly asked to see strategists who were planning D-Day, he never knew until they arrived at 10 Downing Street whether the officer would be British, Canadian or American. And so next to Obama Beach, we join President Obama in paying particular tribute to the spectacular bravery of American soldiers.
We actually got a picture of President Obama himself at the podium giving a speech. There he is, all 6'2" of him. And making a rather shorter speech, we've got President Sarkozy. What did Caroline Flynn do this week?
I can't believe why they're not taking women so seriously in politics. Oh, why? I nearly came dressed as her tonight, but I just managed halfway. They wouldn't let me. They said it was indecent.
It's just too short, really, isn't it?
Yes, you don't know what I've got on under the table.
I don't think a man in elbow patches is particularly interested. Well, I Let's have a look.
Look, I'm just gone for a very trendy look at the moment, which is the geography teacher look. Anyway, stop treating me like a sex object if I was Julie Flint. I'm sick of not being treated for what I'm saying.
Oh, you're only window dressing here, aren't you?
Just so you know, it's actually Caroline Flint. Julie Flint is a porn star.
Is she?
That happens to be my mother!
So, talking to Caroline Flint, what did she do that took Gordon Brown by surprise this week?
Well, she pledged loyalty, and then she did. She went on and said, I'm loyal to Gordon Brown, he's the best leader we've got. And then he didn't offer her the job she wanted. And she suddenly realised he was useless.
Yeah.
And she didn't want the job at all, so she walked out. She said there was a macho culture in Gordon Brown's cabinet. She hadn't been taken seriously. She was just window dressing.
Which shop?
In fact, according to one newspaper, friends of Caroline Flint managed to persuade her to tone down her resignation statement and remove words such as devious and sexist pig. Instead, she had a more mature conversation with him in which she called him a So, talking of Caroline Flint, did anyone see Michael White having a bit of a spat with Eve Pollard and Tory blogger Ian Dale on Sky News?
Do you know why she said that last night and why she walked out today? She had a hissy fit. She thought he was going to put her in the... She was. Don't be silly.
Is he
No, you're quite
have hissy fits as well, can't they?
You would never say that of a
Yes, I would. I'll say it of you. You're having one.
Right, let's return to the papers. Let's return to the papers. Because, no, you can let the lady speak, please.
OK, so Gordon Brown has survived this week. And who's the man behind his survival?
Peter Mandelson.
Correct. Yes. Can you tell me his full title?
Yes, he's First Secretary of State.
Yes.
Secretary of State for Business, Industry and Skills, and Lord President of the Council.
Do you think he wants to be Prime Minister?
No.
No, he just
Get
wants to
thrown out,
make
then.
Prime Ministers.
He's a kingmaker.
Yeah.
Someone said he was like Cardinal Wolsey.
Is he going to make the next Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Is he going to make David Cameron?
There's a slight problem there with party allegiance, but, I mean, don't underestimate Mandy.
That's what I thought. Would you like to see Lord Mandelson on the Andrew Marr show giving his full support to the Prime Minister?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Because in the Cabinet, people think highly of Gordon Brown and are united against him.
Talking of people helping Gordon, who's been parachuted in?
Alan Sugar. Big Al.
He has...
I don't believe it. What are you telling me? I can't believe it. Take two. I can't believe it. He's doing my head in. What's going on? So he's walking into number 10 Downing Street doing the old Alan Sugar bit.
But that means he might have to give up The Apprentice, is that right? 'Cause
that's all right.
He can't work for the BBC and the government.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Well, I mean, there is technically a conflict of interest there.
Yeah.
That's why neither of you work for the government.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, I do my bit.
I think so. I think that's fair.
He was a big noise in agriculture and fisheries. Big noise. Big noise.
He's got to stop being Sir Alan, though.
Yeah.
He's got to be Lord Alan. Just that's no fun.
Of where would he be, Lord? Because you get to choose, don't you? Where would Alan Sugar choose?
North London.
Of Tottenham.
Leave it out, lad. Doing my head. What are you thinking about? Oh, don't get you. I've never actually seen the show. I've got no idea. I have no idea how he talks. Absolutely none.
He's actually here now discussing his new boss with some of his colleagues.
I think this has been a bloody disaster.
It's a waste of space as well as I think.
How could you make such a mess of it?
I think Edinburgh isn't what it used to be.
You're a total shambles. You're fired.
Those two other people, though, was that the same person in drag? But there's one. There's the other one, look. Never in the same shot.
And who else has Gordon brought in? Not just Alan Sugar?
Lionel Blair.
No, you're close.
They brought in Lord Kinnock's wife, Glenys Kinnock, who was a European MEP. so she's not elected either.
Okay.
So they're all, the whole cabinet is full of people you've had no say over. Mandelson, Brown, Sugar.
That's a Rolling Stones song, isn't it? I think it was.
On the subject of new appointments, who's the dynamic, inspirational, exciting new Defence Minister? I'll give you 100 quid if you can name him.
Bob Ainsworth.
Shit. The actual proper answer is, in fact, Robert Ainsworth, so I can't give you that, Ian. Look at them getting into it like it's The Price is Right. Oh.
He needs the money, look.
I'll give you a chance to double your money. It's double or nothing.
No, I won't take it, thanks.
Well, I'm afraid.
He doesn't want to take it. Have you had a nice day? You're happy with what you got?
Do you want to have a look what you would have won?
You live in Birmingham and it's a motorboat.
What's he also known as, Bob Ainsworth?
Robert. You've already said that. 200 quid. 200 quid.
This is costing me a pack, really.
All right. Now, do you want to go for the sports guard, a chance to win your own weight in paperbacks? Your own weight in paperbacks. What do you want? Your own weight in paperbacks?
Yes, please.
OK. OK, do you want to do the first part first, the second part second, the third part third?
Third.
Third part third, OK. Who scored the goal?
Was it Rooney?
Yes, correct.
Gordon Brown claimed that Bob Ainsworth was very popular with the army top brass, but according to the Sunday Times, military sources call him Bob Ain't Worth It. Or rather more succinctly, Bollocks Bob. Mandelson has been supporting Gordon Brown, but which heavyweight has been behind the move to oust Gordon?
Charles Clarke.
Yes, Charles Clarke.
Snap.
Yes. Since Gordon Brown's new lease of life, he has actually been less talkative, as we can see here.
Mr. Clarke, can you please tell us what you think about Gordon Brown?
No.
And this week's award for the most cretinous excuse for a dodgy expense claim goes to who?
Oh, isn't that the church collection? Someone put a fiver in the...
Someone put a button in and then claimed for the button.
Yes. Do you remember when you always used to find a button in your piggy bank and never knew how it got there?
If you're a Muslim, are you allowed a piggy bank?
I've no idea. I did have a piggy bank, but it was her halal pig. Yes, so anyway, he claimed the money that he put in the collection.
Who did?
The man.
Any particular man?
The man with the hair.
Oh, it's a shame. It's a bald man. I can't give you the point. It's Sir Gerald Kaufman.
This is the TV screen.
It's not the TV screen. It's got sort of... What's it called?
OCD.
OCD.
That's OCD. That's
You mean you're thinking of repetitive strain injury, though, aren't you?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of. But I'm actually wrong.
They're different.
They are different.
That's what he's thinking of. OCD, repetitive strain injury.
Yeah. For dyslexia.
No, yeah, that's it. Yeah, but they keep spelling it wrong all the time, over and over again.
What do we win? When do we win it?
So I think I know. He was repeatedly on The Muppets, opposite Miss Piggy.
You're thinking of
wearing
Kermit.
a green suit.
Gerald Kaufman, not Kermit.
Sorry.
No, he's right. It is Kermit. It is Kermit.
It is Kermit.
No, it's Gerald Kaufman. No, he's right. It is Kermit. Look. I don't know. He's complained that he's had to open his wallet too many times. He's sprained his wrist. And he had to go to a special clinic in Geneva where they pumped pure oxygen into his eyeballs while singing Frankie Lane's songs at him through a cow horn that was shoved through the window.
You should have stuck with your first gut reaction, I'm afraid. According to the Daily Mirror, this is his explanation as to why he claimed £220 on expenses for two identical Waterford Crystal grapefruit bowls. You may think I oughtn't to have a Waterford grapefruit dish, but I do, because I've got this self-diagnosed obsessive-compulsive disorder. I do things according to rules that I've created.
That's more or less the entire fee system, though, in the comment.
I have made these rules up, therefore I obey them.
As part of my OCD, I have the same breakfast when I'm at home both in London and Manchester every day. Half a grapefruit, a bowl of muesli with semi-skim milk and a cup of coffee with a rich tea biscuit.
Is it rare to have the same thing for breakfast every morning? Does that make you...
When you say, is it that rare, I suspect that you too may have... what sane people might call a rather unusual breakfast arrangement. What is it you have every morning? Half a yak or something? Dipped in milk? What is it? What do you have every day?
Well, it's more like Frosties. With a half pint of testosterone.
Exactly.
And finally, I have to ask, is it all getting too much for the BBC's political editor, Nick Robinson? See what you think.
Well, this is the scene live at Downing Street, where the Prime Minister's been putting together a new team of ministers. On a dramatic day, Gordon Brown is desperately trying to reassert his authority with his allies rallying around.
Yes, it's round one of the quiz, so the answer must be it's the Labour Party in crisis. Ministers were quick to play down talk of a cabinet rift. According to David Miliband, Alan Johnson is backing the PM to the hilt, which, to be fair, is as far as any knife will go. The pressure is obviously starting to tell on Gordon, as this picture of his fingernails reveals. If he stays in power much longer, he'll end up like Abu Hamza. Only not quite as popular. So, Paul and Hugh, here's yours.
Yes, clearly European elections.
It's very European, isn't it?
Yep.
Nick Griffin.
BNP, Nick Griffin, yes. That's the head of the UKIP, I think. There's some people getting quite drunk, and there's David Cameron. So it's the European elections, I think.
Yes, it's Labour's disastrous performance in the Euro elections. And the
Labour
election...
is toast in Europe. Or pain grillé, as
It's always about food with you, isn't it, Hugh?
There's more food, though, because Nick Griffin, he had eggs thrown at him when he turned up at the Parliament. Presumably, if he turns up at the European Parliament, he'll have eggs thrown at him, but they'll all have to weigh exactly 54 grams.
Yes, he tried to hold a press conference outside Parliament and some anti-fascist protesters hit him with an egg. You'd think you'd have seen it coming, wouldn't you? Would you like to see how the scene was described on News 24? And listen out for the great unintentional pun.
He'd only been speaking for a few moments when a group appeared, chanting and waving anti-BNP banners. After the eggs were thrown, Mr Griffin was whisked away.
Marvellous.
Wasn't he most upset because they didn't separate the egg whites?
So, yeah, who else was upset by the BNP showing in the Euro elections? It's a pop singer.
Was it Cliff?
Lily Allen. Lily Allen is the right answer, yes. She told the crowd at one of her gigs in Australia, the BNP are a bunch of racist and homophobic It's really sad. I hope it's not the same in Australia. Lily, I don't know how to tell you this. And, of course, David Cameron, he doesn't like the BNP either, does he?
No.
He actually said that the BNP are beyond the pale. I think white supremacists would be quite happy with that, wouldn't they?
Now, the pale doesn't mean pale as in pallid. It's pale is a fence put outside a city. That's where the metaphor comes from. Someone is put beyond the pale. It's beyond a post. You deprive them of civilisation. Yeah.
You know what? I reckon, Ian, you'd be a nightmare at a Chuckle Brothers concert.
He's a support act. What are you talking about? I heard one member of the BNP say, you know, if it was good enough for Hitler, it was good enough for me. So I thought, OK, that's one testicle and a bullet in the brain coming to you anyway.
Where did the BNP do best?
Fearnly.
Close. Begins with B.
Blackburn.
Not Blackburn.
Barbados?
Was it Berlin?
Wasn't Berlin either. Rhymes with Barnsley.
Barnsley?
Barnsley, yeah. Barnsley, 1 in every 6 voters voted for the BNP. It's been suggested that this was a protest vote.
But hardly anyone turned out to vote, which is why the BNP got in. If more people had turned out to vote...
Unless they'd voted BNP, of course.
That's a point, yeah.
So, yes, UKIP did very well, and they've reckoned if the result was repeated in a general election, UKIP could hold the balance of power, which, as Robert Kilroy-Silk, one of their former MEPs, says, could leave them with a dilemma.
Their fate will be in each other's hands as they decide whether to share or to shaft.
It's unreal.
Wait, went for a few series ago, we went through every single programme to find an excuse just to put that on. And finally it's come back again. That's great. Lovely.
Now, Hugh, obviously we're worried that you may not be understanding all this European election. Here's a food-based metaphor.
Imagine, if you will, this beautiful Belgian chocolate tart represents all the MEPs in the European Parliament.
Interesting garnish. Can we see the tart again? There's a little garnish. Is it chopped nuts or gold dust or something? What's going on in the middle of that tart?
I think he sneezed. It's swine flu. Can Muslims get swine flu?
Would you stop asking me about Muslims? Iran's dealing with election fever at the moment.
Yes.
Bad
You've
enough.
got proper elections, haven't you? People turn out and vote there.
Yeah, who are we going to vote for? The Holocaust denier or the other one? And no one even knows his name. They're all out on the street going, the other one, the other one.
Her dad got thrown out. He's very, very brave. Just thought I'd mention that.
Why did he get thrown out?
He was just
my dad's been thrown out of places. He's not brave.
He's a satirist. And he wrote a poem the Ayatollah didn't like.
You can be a satirist in Iran, but just not for very long. And also, when we were in England, there was a thing against him. They issued a sort of death thing. Because a fatwa for an exiled writer is the closest thing we have to a literary prize.
So you want the other bloke to win?
The other bloke,
Yeah.
the one that...
Good.
That sounds wrong, doesn't it? The one that believes in the Holocaust. I don't mean...
It wasn't the other guy. He was the Prime Minister 20 years ago or something.
Yes?
He wasn't that nice to everyone then, was he?
No,
he was moderate in Iranian terms.
A Mullah light.
This is the European elections, which resulted in egg on the face for Labour and egg on the jacket for Nick Griffin. A little tip for you, Mr Griffin. Next time you see an egg flying towards you, just do that. The Greens increased their vote to over 8%. They would have done better, but half their voters put their ballot papers in the recycling bin. And so to round two, it's the jigsaw of news. Buzz when you know what it is.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has said that we declare war on textbooks, but in an Austrian accent, which I think is a shame, because in my day we used to love textbooks and covered them in wallpaper. Did you have to do this? And some people had wood chip.
We couldn't afford wallpaper in our house. We used to put geography textbooks up on the wall.
And so what's he hoping to replace it with?
Computers.
Online learning, yeah. That's a very good idea, that, isn't it, Ian?
No. No, Arnie wants to replace textbooks because online learning is much cheaper. It's a way of cutting costs in education. But then he was in some very silly films saying, I'll be back. I can't think of anything funny about this at all. Seems to me a total travesty.
On the subject of books, more specifically words, why has Channel 4's wordy programme Countdown caused such a controversy this week?
The person in Dictionary Corner has got an earpiece, and somebody in the production office says, oh, here's a 9-letter word, and they tell her via the earpiece, and she says, oh, here's a 9-letter word. But I've been doing that since day one. My God, somebody's got access to a dictionary on this word programme. We've been cheated!
Yeah, it's the news that Dictionary Corner's Susie Dent receives answers through a hidden earpiece.
Earpiece?
I'm struggling with that. Paul, could you say earpiece for me?
Oh, yeah,
Can I get to it?
mine it. Yeah.
It's the news that Dictionary Corner Susie Dent receives answers through a hidden...
Earpiece. Well, I've just said it. I can't say it again. This is a bit awkward. I also run in a minicab, obviously. Look, he's outside now, love. He's outside. He can see the front door.
Yes, don't know what all the fuss is about. Most of the Countdown audiences have earpieces. I can't say it again. We'll do the gag again, Paul. Don't know what all the fuss is about. Most of the Countdown steward... Oh, can't say that.
Shall I say the whole thing and you say earpiece?
Say it, yeah. It's the bottom line. If you could read out the bottom line for us, that'd be fantastic.
You're laughing at the old people for being deaf, and you can't even talk.
Most of the Countdown audience have...
Just the bottom line.
This has got all the answers for the rest of the show on this.
fingers on buzzers, teams.
Startled vision of Gordon Ramsay hove into view.
Upsetting an entire continent, Australia specifically. He was a guest on one of their chat shows, hosted by a very popular woman called Tracy something. But apparently the next day he was doing a live cooking demonstration and held up an offensive picture that had a sort of pig's face on a woman's body and said that it was her.
Oh, my God! That's horrible.
It was Channel 9's Tracy Grimshaw is the name you're looking for.
That really is horrible.
She's not fat.
That's like Kermit's fantasy, isn't it? Danny Baker once told me a great Gordon Ramsay anecdote. He was on Hell's Kitchen and Gordon Ramsay fell asleep with his wrinkly head. And so Danny Baker and the other contestants got a pack of cards and inserted the playing cards into the wrinkles. And whilst they were doing it, Gordon Ramsay woke up and started swearing at them and going mental, pulling the cards out and screaming at them. But what he hadn't realised is he'd left one in and it was flapping. Are you friends with Gordon?
I know the man, yeah.
Actually, you were at Eton with... oh, sorry, that's a different question. I'm so sorry.
What, with Gordon Ramsay? He was at Eton. Now I am learning something.
You were at Eton with somebody.
Yeah, we'll
think
come
back
to
of
that.
all the people you were at Eton with. I have an anecdote ready for all of them.
It's going to be David Cameron, isn't
it? It might be David Cameron.
Yeah.
It might be Billy Biggins, for all you know. You're just going to have to wait.
How is Billy?
He's dead. Sorry to break that to you.
Thanks for breaking it to me.
Yeah. Tell us, David Cameron, what was he like?
I didn't know him that well. He was 2 years or 3 years below me.
Brilliant anecdote. Talking of pigs, did anyone see Newsnight's ethical man Justin Rowlett learning how to be a pig farmer this week? Here he is, delivering pig's wool.
Bob collects up to 30 tonnes of food waste from the strip every single day. It feeds 6,000 pigs.
Yes, this is Gordon Ramsay, who's found himself in hot water. Well, simmering on a rolling boil, anyway. I think we could bond them with a bit of cooking talk.
You've got it all... You can't... A rolling boil is completely different from simmering.
Yeah.
Simmering is... Yeah. Just doesn't make sense.
Why does simmering sort of bubbling under?
Yeah, you can have it on a slow simmer, or you can have it on a full rolling boil.
A rolling boil is a...
You want your jam on a full rolling boil for about 5 or 10 minutes. If you want to slow cook a piece of meat and have it very tender, just a gentle simmer. The two things are completely different. The temperatures are different.
Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to see why Gordon Ramsay doesn't like you. After being compared to a pig, Tracy Grimshaw rebuked Gordon Ramsay on her own show. Gordon has now unreservedly apologised and sent her some truffles. Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. Your four are Colonel Sanders, Jesus, Steve Irwin, and half of a half-naked woman.
Is there a thing here of statues being rejected by the people who commission them?
I don't know, I've dropped all my notes. Carry on.
Yes, I think that's right, Hugh. That's definitely right. Yeah, well done. You've got the correct answer there.
Are we on the right track? But we don't know which one is which.
Well, let's see. Colonel Sanders.
He was a... Colonel Sanders was... What? Do you think it's a different answer to that?
Yes.
We haven't really had a proper stab at it yet. Colonel Sanders was apparently not a very nice man, so if someone...
Chickens have got very little good to say about him.
Yeah. The chickens that you'll find in a KFC have not had the happiest of lives, it has to be said.
Whereas I like to simmer them on a rolling boil.
Jesus is the odd one out, because that one was actually refused. They sort of looked at it, oh, this is the Jesus, so they took it off. And so all the others have had statues that are going up, but that's the one that's had one come down.
So you're saying Jesus is the odd one out? OK.
Here's Little Morden College.
I think That was a crucifix which was outside a church, and the vicar took it inside the church because he thought it would scare people. There was an erotic theme park in China, which was built, and then the day it was open, they decided they didn't want it.
Yeah.
So the authorities bulldozed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Didn't want people having sex, or even going on rides up and down. I don't know how this works, but there's something unpleasant going there. And Colonel Sanders, his face was pixelated on Google Street Earth. So he's the odd one out.
Yeah, you're sort of all on the right tracks, but none of you have given me the right answer, but you're roughly...
Steve Irwin's the odd one out.
Is the correct answer.
Yes.
The exact reason is that they've all had statues of them removed from public view, apart from Steve Irwin, of whom a statue has been made but not displayed because nobody wants it. You say, would you like to see it?
Yes.
Jesus.
Give us a tune, mate. I mean, what is this?
Talking of Steve Irwin, would you like to see footage of a reporter vying to become the next Steve Irwin?
Oh, yes.
Once inside the cage, she's a very different animal. 12 stone of boisterous playfulness. This rough and tumble is, of course, just her having fun. At this point, it's time for this courageous reporter to get closer to what's obviously a very friendly lion cub.
What on earth am I doing in here?
Who else has had a run-in with a dangerous animal this week?
David Blunkett.
Yes, what happened?
He was attacked by a cow.
David Blunkett was attacked by a cow?
Yeah,
yes.
apparently.
Did you not hear about this?
No.
Ian, tell Paul what happened.
Well, the former Home Secretary was attacked by a cow.
Was he very surprised this happened in his own kitchen, or...?
Yeah, according to The Sun, a
Yes.
shaken Blunkett said, there is a serious message from this. Beware of cattle. Does anyone know what caused the cow to launch an attack on the former Home Secretary?
It was the dog.
Yes, what was the dog doing?
The little dog was laughing.
Actually, I don't know why I asked you that, because I've realised there isn't an answer. I've said, what was the dog doing, realised the dog wasn't doing anything.
Just being a dog.
Just being a dog is the right answer, well done. Well done, that's the answer that I've got on the card, just being a dog. And what was David Blunkett doing?
He was just being a man.
Correct, 2 points for this side. Come on, you two, you're not doing very well, are you? Here's one for you. What was the cow doing?
Crossword, Sudoku...
The cow was startled by Blunkett's dog, Sadie. Mr Blunkett allayed fears of terrorism, saying this was a one-off. There is no evidence that this was a coordinated attack. A spokesman for the National Farmers Union, one Alison Pratt, gave the following advice. The best thing to do is to let the dog off the lead so it can run away, because obviously a dog can run faster than you. The next thing to do is to get quite quickly to the edge of the field. Alison, let me stop you there. There's something you need to know about why Mr Blunkett has a dog. A statue of Colonel Sanders was removed from public view by Japanese baseball fans who threw it in a river while celebrating their team winning the league in 1985. People thought the Colonel looked like their team's bearded slugger, Randy Bass.
Wow. Which one's Kermit?
Reverend Ewan Souter has replaced a 44-year-old sculpture of Jesus at St John's Church in Horsham with a plain cross after it put people off.
It doesn't look well.
The statue of a half-naked woman at the newly built Love Land theme park in China has been taken down recently, and here's the statue being removed.
Nice topiary.
Yeah, the Chinese authorities intended it to be educational, but in the end decided it was too vulgar. Can't think why. Loveland was designed to be an educational adult theme park in China. Cheeky fun and bonking are just two of the people disappointed the park is closed. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Cashew Bulletin. And we start with Tory MPs floating Duck Island what?
Used as a brothel by cuckoos.
Sold.
Scratch. Yes, sold. For...
Sold... God, are we doing charades?
Yes.
Sold for cash. Money.
It's actually Tory MPs floating Duck Island to be sold for charity. Shame Tory MP Sir Peter Viggers is auctioning off the Duck House he claimed for on expenses. That'd make a spacious second home for Hazel Blears. Next, how the apes taught us what?
How to open nuts.
Oh,
surely.
Yeah. To open nuts.
How to open
I
nuts.
think
How
about packets of nuts.
How to get...
Now, how to laugh. It was one of the early...
Yes.
Chimp and... What's that other...
Ease?
Monkey.
Monkey, one of those special...
Cheetah.
Cheetah.
The one in Tarzan.
Oh, it was called Cheetah, yes.
Yeah.
He was the original ape.
Still alive, of course. Paul, will you back me up on that?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yes.
What, the one from the 30s?
He is still alive.
Yeah, he's absolutely alive. He absolutely is. He's still alive.
See, Paul's backing me up. He wouldn't be doing it just to ridicule me. He's backing me up. He's definitely still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Definitely still alive.
Yeah. Because if he was dead, I couldn't cope with that. He's definitely alive.
He's definitely alive, yeah.
Because I'd cry my eyes out if he was gone. How the apes taught us to laugh 16 million years ago. It must have been difficult for cavemen to make jokes. Knock, knock. Come in, we haven't got a door. Next, convicts fool guards by what?
Painting faces on the back of their heads and walking in backwards. Just turn your shirt round, do like that. People think you're coming in to visit somebody, we're actually walking out.
It's actually convicts fool guards by using ye olde slang.
Yeah, they've reinvented medieval slang to fool the guards, so they've got words for coke and heroin and...
Chaucer.
Medieval word.
Got a touch of Chaucer. You're on the way to Canterbury.
Prisoners have been using Elizabethan slang as a code. The Daily Mail listed various Shakespearean words that are used by prison inmates, though oddly they failed to mention the most popular phrase, "You be Juliet." Next, piano-playing cat, what?
Learns Fearnly.
Frightened by bark. Piano-playing cat says, I can't play the guitar because that's my cousin. Cat gut in strings, you see? Cat gut in strings.
His piano-playing cat inspires new composition. And finally, what is popularly known as jumbo nuts?
Prince Philip.
Crazy elephant.
Crazy elephant, that's very good.
I thought that deserved more.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Say it again.
Crazy elephant.
It's actually W210 is popularly known as jumbo nuts. So, the final scores are Ian and Shappi have 5 points. This week's winners, Paul and Hugh, with 7 points. So, just before we go, there's time for the caption competition.
Olympic jazz hand champion fails drug test.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists Paul Merton and Hugh Fearnly Whittingstall, Ian Hislop and Shappi Khorsandi. And I leave you with news that in Dorset, farmers are concerned that Hugh Fearnly Whittingstall's campaign for better treatment for chickens has gone too far. Despite taking the wrong turning for Edinburgh Station, a pensioner still gets down to London ahead of the train. And as he makes the news for all the wrong reasons, once again, Gordon Ramsay invites his PR man round for a drink. Good night.
A complex man often cited as the father of Impressionists. A profile of Manet, the man who invented modern art. That's next this evening here on BBC Two.
How was football, that?
Yeah, no. I was enjoying it. Seen Ronaldo's gone.
They've been told that for another couple of quid they can take Gordon Brown as well.
Were you devastated?
Yeah, gutted.